Hello, my name is Graham Roberts. I'm a solicitor, been a solicitor for 20 years, and I specialise in personal injury claims and abuse compensation. Abuse is treatment which causes either harm or injury. It takes place in many forms. It can be physical or psychological. Physically, it can be sexual abuse, it can be assault and battery. Psychologically, it could be the threat of violence. It could be even such as subjecting a child to pornographic material. When you report abuse to an organisation in a professional capacity, that organisation or members of that organisation are supposed to report the abuse to the appropriate authorities. However, in the past, this didn't seem to happen. Therefore, individuals or victims told of the abuse, and as nothing happened, they did nothing for many years. I've dealt with many cases where my clients have not reported the abuse for maybe 30 or 40 years or so. But when they come to me, it is a painful experience. One of the first things I say to them is we should report the abuse to the police. It helps in the investigation, it helps in our investigation, and helps with the success of the case. By the very nature of abuse, a lot of the time there are no witnesses. However, what we look for is supporting evidence, such as other reports which have been made to the police, and disclosures which may have been made long ago or at the time of the abuse, which gives supporting evidence to the case. It does make it more difficult if the abuser is not there to answer the allegations put to them. However, many people have come forward after an abuser has died, and it has come out that there are other victims of abuse. The civil justice system is separate to the criminal justice system. With the civil justice system, you are making a claim for compensation for the abuse which you have suffered. An abuse claim is like a personal injury claim, in that you would normally have to bring the claim or issue court proceedings within 3 years of the abuse occurring. Or if the abuse occurred whilst you were under 18, then within 3 years of your 18th birthday. However, the courts are aware of how difficult it is for someone to come forward. Therefore, you can extend the time period in these type of cases. Indeed, it is usually extended. You make a claim for the actual abuse itself, so the acts which occurred. You make a claim for the injury suffered, which is usually psychological, can also be physical. And then you make a claim for financial loss. So the abuse may have stopped you going forward in life to earn a certain amount of money, therefore you claim for your loss of earnings. We claim for the cost of treatment to help combat the effects of the abuse. So we claim for anything which we can say can be lost because of the abuse. I've even claimed for the cost of alcohol when my client has become dependent upon alcohol through trying to deal with the effects of the abuse. My stock response to that is how long is a piece of string? There's no real answer to that because it depends upon the circumstances of the case. What can shorten the length of these cases are if there is a police prosecution or criminal prosecution against the person who has committed the offence, if the person has admitted the offence, But generally, if we have to fight on all aspects, then the case can take a long time. We look at the actual acts which were undertaken, and you can imagine with sexual abuse, it can be inappropriate touching all the way up to rape. How much you get for the actual abuse depends upon the severity of the acts themselves, but also what effect those acts have had upon the victim. Some people suffer severe mental disorders as a result of abuse, others not as serious. You also claim for financial loss, such as loss of earnings, the cost of care or support, the cost of treatment, amongst other things. The first port of call is always your GP. Your GP has contacts with a number of agencies that can provide support and assistance and psychological help for those that have been affected. There are many charities out there that help the victims of abuse also. The evidence starts with the bravery of coming forward to advise that abuse has occurred. With that, we then look for supporting evidence. We look for reports which have been made earlier in life. We look for other people that have made reports to the police. We look for changes in circumstances. So if it's a child, the demeanour, the outlook, the behaviour of that child may have changed at the time that the abuse has occurred. There is always a possibility that we would have to go to a court hearing. However, it is unusual, and most of these type of cases are settled prior to any court appearance taking place. If we do have to bring proceedings to the court, then your identity can be protected